Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started.
Today we are stepping into a world that feels like a massive collision between the Hunger Games and a very dark, very gritty vampire political thriller.
Yeah, we're doing a deep dive into We Who Will Die by Stacia Stark.
And if you were jumping into this expecting your standard girl meets vampire, they fall in love, everything is sparkly kind of situation, you need to throw that out right now.
Oh, absolutely. Looking at the sources, this is a brutal universe. We are talking about a world where humans are basically treated as, what, livestock?
Essential livestock, or disposable entertainment, depending on the day. That is the Empire of Synthara in a nutshell. And, before we even touch on the main characters, we really have to look at the hierarchy here.
Right, because in this setting, your social class literally determines if you live or die.
Exactly. At the absolute top of the food chain, you have the Emperor, Valius Corvus, and the Vampire Elite. They hold every single card. And then just below them, you have the sigil marked.
These are the humans with magic.
Right. They have these physical marks right on their foreheads, bronze, silver, or gold. The metal dictates their power level. So like a gold sigil might control fire with just devastating power. They have value because the Empire can use them as weapons.
Or tools.
Yeah. But then there's everyone else.
The mundanes.
The mundanes. No magic, no marks, zero rights. They are the absolute bottom of the barrel. If a vampire gets hungry, or if the Emperor just needs bodies for the arena, the mundanes are the first to go.
Which is just a terrifying place to begin a story for you as a reader.
Hmm.
And that is exactly where our protagonist, Arvel Dacian, comes in. And this is what I love, she is not exactly a damsel in distress.
Oh, far from it. Arvel is a former champion of the Sands.
Which is the gladiator arena.
Right, the meat grinder. She actually survived it and managed to retire about 6 years ago. Now she's living in the Thorn, which is the worst slum district, and she's scraping by working as a mercenary bodyguard.
See, retiring from a deathmatch tournament and moving to the slums does not sound like a great retirement plan to me. Why is she still fighting for every single coin?
It all comes down to her family. She has 2 younger brothers, Gareth and Evren. And Evren is the absolute heart of her motivation because he has this deadly lung disease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Arvel spends literally every copper she earns on black market lung tonics just to keep him breathing.
That is such a desperate situation.
Yeah.
And, usually in these deep dives, we see that desperation is exactly the weakness the villains exploit.
You hit the nail on the head. The inciting incident of this whole story is a total gut punch. Arvel goes out to buy the medicine, but the city is completely dry. No tonics anywhere.
Let me guess. Someone bought them all.
Yep. She goes home, absolute panic setting in, and finds this incredibly powerful vampire named Bran just waiting for her in her living room.
So he cornered the market to corner her.
He is holding the cure for her brother hostage. He offers her a deal. He says he will cure Evren and send both of her brothers up north to safety, away from the slums, away from the vampires.
But there is always a catch. You don't just help a mundane out of the kindness of your cold, dead heart.
No, you definitely don't. The price is that Arvel has to come out of retirement. Bran wants her to enter the Sundering.
Which is the tournament to join the Emperor's personal elite force, right? The Presidium Guard.
Yes. So she has to fight her way into the Kingsguard.
That is tough, but, she is a former champion. If anyone can do it, it's her.
Sure, but that's just the entry fee. Bran's actual mission for her is basically suicide. Once she gets into the Guard, her secret job is to assassinate the Emperor.
Whoa, okay, so infiltrate the most heavily guarded place on the planet and kill the most powerful being in existence.
Or her brother dies.
She has zero leverage.
None. So she agrees. She sends her brothers away with one of Bran's associates, a vampire named Elva, and Arvel just marches herself right to the Ludus, the training academy.
Fully expecting she is walking to her death.
Absolutely.
So she arrives at the Ludus. I'm picturing this high-stakes military academy, but with a lot more fangs. What is the vibe like when she gets there?
It is incredibly intense. You have this mix of terrified novices and deeply arrogant fighters. Arvel's strategy is to keep her head down, act cold, and stay detached.
Makes sense. You don't want to get attached to someone you might have to kill in the arena tomorrow.
Right, but she immediately fails at that because of this girl named Maeva.
Maeva's the bubbly one, right?
Oh, she's relentless. Maeva is optimistic, desperately looking for a connection, and she just latches onto Arvel. Arvel tries to be icy, but Maeva just totally wears her down.
Everyone needs that golden retriever friend, even in a death camp.
Exactly. But Maeva is not the only blast from the past Arvel has to deal with, and this part is messy.
Messy is an understatement from what I read. So she looks up at the podium during orientation, and she sees the Primus, the head of the guard.
And it is Tiernan,
Her childhood best friend.
her first love. The guy who vanished from the slums 6 years ago without a single word. She honestly thought he was dead, or that he had just completely abandoned her.
And instead, he is running the Emperor's security detail.
It's worse than that. He is a vampire now.
Oh, man.
And not just any vampire. He's the Emperor's adopted, or basically turned, son.
That is a wildly rough first day. Hey, remember me? You ghosted me to become a bloodsucker.
The tension is incredible. She hates him for leaving, and he is visibly shocked that she's there. But the chemistry between them, it hasn't gone anywhere.
Which complicates everything, because she is literally there to kill his new father.
Right. And speaking of the Emperor's family, we really have to talk about the other son, Rorik.
Rorik sounds like a massive problem.
He is. If Tiernan is the noble, conflicted son, Rorik is an absolute predator. He is cruel, sadistic, and he has this rare ability called mind-pathing.
Mind-pathing, so he reads minds.
He can peel through your thoughts like pages in a book.
Yeah.
And he takes this immediate, very creepy interest in Arvel. He starts calling her Little Rabbit.
Wait, hold on. If her secret mission is to assassinate the Emperor, and this guy can read minds, isn't the mission just over before it even starts?
You would think so. But this is where the world building gets so fascinating. Remember how Arvel is a mundane?
Right. She has no magic.
It turns out her complete lack of magic, her void status, actually acts as a shield. Roar cannot get into her head at all. She is a total blank spot to him.
Oh, I love that. Her societal weakness is actually her superpower.
Exactly. It completely subverts the whole chosen one trope. She isn't special because she has more magic than everyone else. She is special because she has none.
And that must drive Rorik crazy.
Oh, he is obsessed with what he can't control.
So let me get this straight. She is juggling a secret assassination plot, an ex-boyfriend who's now her boss, and a psychic stalker who treats her like a pet. And she still has to actually survive a gladiatorial tournament.
Yes. The Sundering. It consists of 3 main trials, and the first one is just a straight-up, brutal arena fight. Arvel is pitted against this huge gladiator named Maximus. And the crowd, they want blood. They want to kill.
But Arvel is playing a completely different game.
Right. Instead of killing him, she uses this trick to trip him, pins him down, and forces him to yield. She shows mercy.
Which, in a culture obsessed with cruelty and death...
It's totally confusing to them. It makes her stand out immediately, but the real turning point is the 3rd trial, the water challenge.
The water challenge sounds like absolute nightmare fuel.
It is. It's a flooded arena, and it is filled with kelpies.
Kelpies are the mythological water horses that drag people under and eat them.
Right. Nasty business. So the novices are stranded on these sinking platforms, and there are a few boats. And Arvel saves Maeva from being dragged under by a kelpie.
But then she does something crazy, right? Instead of fighting the other competitors for the boats,
She starts organizing them?
she unionizes the gladiators in the middle of a shark tank.
Basically. She starts throwing shields to the people in the boats, coordinating their defenses against the kelpies. She turns a free-for-all death match into a cooperative survival mission.
And how does the Emperor feel about his favorite blood sport turning into a team-building exercise?
He is furious. But the crowd goes absolutely wild for her. They start chanting this name for her, Kalindra's daughter.
Kalindra being the goddess of mercy and redemption.
Right. So Arvel unwittingly becomes a massive political symbol. The Emperor wanted a bloodbath to instill fear, and instead, she gave the people hope.
And now he can't just execute her because she is a massive crowd favorite.
It's a complete stalemate. She survives the trials, and technically, she enters the guard.
Okay, so she is inside the palace. Does she make a move on the Emperor?
She's trying to figure out how. She sneaks into the Forbidden Library looking for some kind of weakness she can exploit. And this is really where the story shifts from just a political assassination into full-blown apocalyptic stakes.
What does she find in the library?
She finds this ancient, blood-stained book. And it's written in a language that no one in the Empire can read. But when Arvel looks at it, something horrifying happens. Her eyes physically start bleeding, like actual tears of blood.
Wow. That is metal.
It is a violent reaction to the magic. But through the pain, the words on the page actually rearrange themselves for her. She can read it.
Because of her void status.
Exactly, it's the language of the gods. And the book contains this terrifying prophecy about Mortuus, the god of ruin, breaking out of his magical cage.
So the stakes just went from kill the bad leader to
Yeah.
stop the god of ruin from eating the entire world.
And here is the kicker. Rorik knows about this book. He has been trying to decode it for years and failing. He actually almost catches her in the library, and she realizes he is completely desperate for this knowledge.
Okay, so while she is uncovering ancient prophecies of doom, what is happening with the love life? Are she and Tiernan still just glaring at each other in the hallways?
They actually reconnect at this celebration ball for the new novices. The anger finally just breaks. Tiernan reveals the truth. He didn't leave her willingly 6 years ago.
Oh, really?
He realized the Emperor was watching him, so he left the slums specifically to draw the Emperor's attention away from Arvel and her brothers.
So he sacrificed his own humanity to keep them off the radar. The noble idiot trope. I love it.
It definitely works on her. They rekindle their relationship. It gets very steamy, actually, but then he drops an absolute bomb on her.
What'd it do?
He reveals that he didn't actually send her brothers north to safety with Bran's associate.
Wait, where are they?
He smuggled Evren and Gareth into the palace.
Are you kidding me? He brought the sick brother and the kid into the lion's den.
He didn't trust Bran. He thought they would be safer under his own direct protection, hiding in the Imperious servants' quarters.
But for Arvel, this has to be terrifying. Her brothers are now in the immediate blast zone if her assassination attempt goes sideways.
It is the worst-case scenario. Everything is converging. You have the brothers in the palace, the god of ruin prophecy, and the Emperor getting increasingly paranoid about Arvel's popularity.
Something has to give.
The breaking point happens at the circus. The Emperor hosts this massive chariot race. But the civilians use the gathering to stage a protest over taxes.
And the Emperor is not the kind of guy to listen to a peaceful protest.
Not at all. He snaps. He orders the wardens to just massacre the crowd with fire.
And what does Arvel do?
She doesn't even hesitate. She and the other gladiators leap up into the stands to save the civilians. They are physically pulling children out of the fire.
She is literally becoming the hero of the rebellion in real time.
Which is exactly why the Emperor decides he needs to break her publicly. He arranges a final special fight in the arena.
This can't be good.
He drugs Maeva,
We're best friends?
her best friend. He drugs her and throws her into the ring with Arvel.
Oh, that is unbelievably cruel.
The order is simple. Kill your friend or die. The Emperor wants to prove to the crowd that Kalindra's daughter is just a vicious killer like everyone else. He wants to ruin her reputation before he executes her.
It's a complete psychological trap. Does she fight?
She fights to subdue, but not to kill. She manages to knock Maeva out, but she absolutely refuses to deliver the death blow.
Huh.
She just stands there in the center of the arena and defies the Emperor in front of thousands of people.
That has to be a death sentence. He cannot let that slide.
He orders her execution right there in the sand. The guards start moving in. But then Rorik steps in.
The creepy mind reader brother.
He enters the arena and publicly claims her. He invokes this ancient law and he forces Arvel to beg on her knees.
Wow.
Which is deeply humiliating, and it establishes his dominance, but he saves her life. He takes her as his personal novice and servant.
So he saves her, but he owns her.
Exactly. And it creates this massive rift in the royal family. Rorik has now openly defied his father, and he has essentially stolen Arvel from Tiernan. Now she belongs to the most dangerous man in the empire.
This sets up the climax perfectly.
Yeah.
The whole palace must be an absolute powder keg at this point.
It explodes during the novice presentation ceremony. The rebels attack. Bombs are going off. It is total chaos.
The perfect distraction.
Arvel grabs her brothers and Tiernan, and they make a run for it. They are trying to escape the city entirely.
Freedom is literally right there.
Almost. But in the chaos, they run into Bran.
The vampire who started this whole mess with the lung tonics, the guy we love to hate.
He is there, and he is holding that red book, the one about the God of Ruin.
Oh, so Bran was after the prophecy all along.
Right, but he doesn't have it for long because Rorik intercepts them. And this is where we really see just how powerful Rorik is. He just obliterates Bran, kills him instantly.
Wow, so Bran is just gone. That
Yeah.
thread is tied up. But now Rorik has Arvel and her family cornered.
And he reveals his whole hand. He knows. He knows Arvel can read the language of the gods. He either saw the signs in the library or he just pieced it together. He holds up the book and he offers her a brand new deal.
Let me guess. Translate this or I kill everyone you love.
It's actually a bit more nuanced than that, which makes him so much more dangerous. He says he wants to stop Mortius, He needs her to translate the book so he can learn how to control the power necessary to keep the god caged.
Okay.
If she helps him do that, he promises to let her, Tiranon, and her brothers go free, but only after the world is saved.
Do we actually believe him?
That is the million-dollar question for the next book. But Arvel really has no choice. She accepts the deal. So the book ends with her completely trapped. She saved her brother from the disease, she found her lost love in Tiranon, but now she is bound to Rorik.
Serving as the personal translator for a potential apocalypse.
Exactly.
It is such a fascinating pivot for her character, because the story starts with her being a pawn for Bran, and it ends with her being a pawn for Rorik.
Right, but the nature of her value has completely changed. To Bran, she was just a weapon, just a body to throw at the Emperor. But to Rorik, she is an intellectual necessity. She is literally the only person in the world who can unlock the magic he needs.
And that gives her leverage she just didn't have at the beginning of the story.
It also sets up a really intense dynamic between the two brothers for the sequel. Tiranon is the safe, noble protector, but Rorik is the dangerous, intellectual equal who actually challenges her.
It's that classic safe choice versus dark mirror trope. Tyrna wants to hide her to keep her safe, but Rorik wants to use her, and in doing so, he acknowledges her power in a way Tiranon doesn't.
We also can't ignore the magic system here, because you mentioned the void aspect earlier. It really is the thematic key to the whole book.
Because society in Synthara is built entirely on these categories: bronze, silver, gold. And if you don't fit, you are nothing.
But the narrative is suggesting that the current magic system is actually a corruption. The Void Arvel's complete lack of a sigil is the only thing that allows her to connect with the ancient, raw god magic.
It's a massive critique of the hierarchy itself. The very thing the Empire despises, the mundanes, might be the only thing pure enough to actually save them.
Exactly. And looking forward, Arvel is now standing right in the eye of the storm. She is a figurehead for the rebellion that's brewing outside the walls. She is the key to the magical lock, holding back a dark god. And she is living with a man who can read every single mind in the palace except hers.
Talk about a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It creates this perfect claustrophobic tension for the next book. She isn't wandering off into the wilderness on a quest. She is trapped in luxury with her enemies.
And we should remember, her allies are just as dangerous. During the whole betrayal subplot with Albion.
Oh, right, where her mentor Leon is attacked.
Yes, Arvel had to go down into the dungeons to figure out what was poisoning Albion, and she met the Maginari.
The magical creatures the Emperor keeps locked up. There was a centaur, a harpy,
And a griffin named Pholus. They gave her clues about the key needed to cage Mortress.
So if she unleashes them, she isn't just starting a political rebellion. She is changing the entire magical ecosystem of the world.
Synthara is built entirely on the suppression of magic. Caging gods, imprisoning creatures, ranking humans. Arvel is the crack in that foundation.
So when you look at it, We Who Will Die isn't just about a girl surviving gladiatorial fights in an arena. It is really about the collapse of a rigid caste system, all fueled by a protagonist who just refuses to be defined by the labels placed on her.
And I think it leaves us with a really provocative thought to chew on. In a world that constantly demands we fit into specific, pre-approved boxes to have any value, what real power lies in being the anomaly? Maybe being a void isn't an emptiness at all, but a capacity to hold something far greater than the system allows.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.